Well, hello and welcome to Printing 101 with me, Tim Jones, on the Fotospeed YouTube channel. This is a new series that I'm doing to look at basically how we go about doing the basics of printing. And today what we're going to look at is the 3 things really we need to set within the computer to get some lovely prints out of our printer. And there's only 3 things really we need to be concerned about and really look at, unless we're having any problems. But before we dive into any of that, please don't forget to subscribe to the Fotospeed YouTube channel and also sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter on photospeed.com. Okay, so printing can be a bit of a minefield when you first start, and you get your little printer like this one here. The Canon 8750 is what I kind of recommend. One of the printers I recommend, kind of an entry level kind of printer with 6 dye inks and things. Absolutely fantastic, does beautiful prints as well. So then you get some lovely Fotospeed papers to use on it as well, and you pick the ones, you think about the ones you like the feel of and things like that. And then you actually get your picture up on the computer screen like we have here in this computer here. And we start to look at it and think, well, okay, I just want to print it and just see how it comes out, to be honest. So put some paper in. And then you think, right, I'll just go to File Print in Photoshop or Lightroom, whatever you're using. And then you are presented with a whole list of settings. Like in Photoshop here, we have lots and lots of things. So we can see the print on one side. Then we've got this strange thing called color management and rendering intents and things like that. So we do have to have an awareness of what we actually need to set. Now, it's only really 3 things. And like I said, unless you're seeing any problems, it's only really 3 things you need to set. Now, the first thing you'll probably see, I'm in Photoshop here, but it's the same in Lightroom as well. I'll bring that up on the screen so you can see, is normally we're presented with a color management box. And something called color handling or color profile may come up in here. And this is what's asking us for the profiles, how the colors are printed on that certain paper with that printer. So the colors come out consistently and predictably. If you haven't looked at my profiles video explaining what ICC profiles are and what they do, go and have a look at that after this video and it will explain what the ICC profiles are and what they actually do. So the first thing we need to set is we need to set the profile, or tell the printer basically how to print the color on the type of paper we have. Now I'm going to print on an NST bright white for this picture I've got on the screen here. So what I need to do is I need to set this to Photoshop manages colors, or sometimes it's application manages colors, or within Lightroom you just select the profile and then that will apply that profile and that color management to that print you're going to be making. So underneath in Photoshop we have printer profile here. So I'm going to be printing on an ST bright white, so I've got that one selected here. So what I need to do is just change this so you can see I've got loads of profiles in here. So I'm just going to go down and select a IP8750 profile here basically. And then that is the first thing we need to set. The other thing underneath we need to be aware of, and a little half point, is the rendering intent. Now I'm going to do a whole separate video on rendering intent in this series. So for the moment, what we're going to do is we're just going to set it on perceptual and make sure we have black point compensation ticked. And then when I do that video, I'll explain kind of what's going on in there. But basically for this video, don't worry too much about it. Just set it on perceptual and you'll be absolutely fine. Now, the other thing we need to do is we need to tell it the paper size, and also what kind of media we're printing on. So is it a glossy paper, is it a matte paper, or is it a semi-gloss type of paper? And this is all done within the print settings options just at the top here. So what I'm going to do is just click on print settings, and then we've got our driver window open. Now if you're on a Mac like me, they look pretty uniform. I'm on like a previous version of Mac OS, so all my options are in like a little drop down here on layout. And I've got media and quality and things like that in here. So if I then go onto my printer, so we've got loads of different printers here. These are all the printers in the office that I've got to basically choose from. Now I've got an IP8750 at the top here, so I'm just going to select that one so it kind of matches up here a little bit for us. Now I'm going to print on A3 Plus as well, so you can see it on the video, and it's nice and big. So in here we can select in here an A3 Plus. That's a second setting we need to do just to see, because otherwise if we set it as A4 it'll print tiny on our page and things and cause all kind of problems. The other thing we need to do is set the media type as well. So we need to tell it if it's a matte or gloss or semi-gloss effectively. So this is done normally in, there's going to be an option, be it off your PC or if you're on a Mac, of media type. Now, if you're on a PC, normally it comes up in a lovely window and you can see it and you can just select the different media types in there. Be it if you're on a Canon or an Epson, they're going to be in there, and they just look slightly differently. Sometimes it varies from printer to printer as well. If you're on a Mac, you need to look for something called print settings or print options or quality of media. And within there, that is where you will see your media type options. Now, we've also got this all written down for you as well. So please just download the profiling pack and it'll take you through step by step how to actually find all these settings and things. But in here, we're going to be looking for that media setting. And this is the third thing we need to set, because some printers have a matte black and photo black. So the media type is going to tell it which black to use on that certain paper. So the photo black is used on the gloss, semi-gloss type of papers, like the Brighers as well. And then the matte black is used on matte papers. So anything like the NST Bright White I've got in this printer here. So it also tells it how high to set the head as well, so we don't get nasty marks on the side of prints and things like that. So it's quite important we set it. If we just leave it on plain paper, what it normally defaults to, that is going to cause us a load of problems. So within media type, there's two options. We've got a lovely form that I'll put a link to in the description below that you can download, and it's got every Fotospeed paper listed and what to set it on, be it on an Epson or a Canon printer. So the rough rule though is if you're on either Canon or Epson and you're on a gloss or semi-gloss or brighter type of paper, go into photo papers and find your semi-gloss setting. On Canons, it's normally called photo paper plus semi-gloss. On Epsons, it's normally called Epson Premium Semi-Gloss, it may be called. So we set it on that. And that is a good setting to start with Fotospeed papers. And that is generally what I use pretty much all the time for anything that's not a matte paper. Now, for matte papers, this does change. On the Canons, we can set it to a paper type like matte photo paper, like we have here in this driver here. Or if you do, like on the Pro 1000 series, then we can actually go into something called heavyweight fine art, and that will get you pretty close to those settings that you'll need to set and be the one to use, because that will use that matte black ink for you and give you beautiful prints. And that is what I use pretty much everything, all the matte papers that I print on here. If you're on an Epson, it's slightly different. So you can either select the Epson matte setting. So you've either got in here, you've got fine art matte from Epson or velvet fine art. I would normally pick velvet fine art, but I can't really see a lot of difference between the two, to be honest. But those are the two I would pick, and velvet fine art would probably be my recommendation. If you haven't got velvet fine art, usually go on to matte papers and pick something like the archival matte paper or just the standard Epson matte, and that will give you really good results as well. If you do have like an EcoTank machine, you can select velvet fine art, and it also uses a bit of a combination between the two blacks in there as well. Although it hasn't got a matte black, it's got a pigment and a dye black in there, so you do get a bit of a deeper black in there. So it's well worth having a look. Now, if you're on a PC, we will need to turn off color management manually. On a Canon, this is just under color intensity manual adjustment. When you click on this, another box will pop up and you need to go to the tab at the top that says matching. And then you will need to go to color correction and then click none and then OK. Now this will turn off the color management so you don't get what we call double profiling. So you won't have a profile actually in Photoshop being applied, but also in the printer being applied as well. Now you also need to do this on an Epson printer as well. Now this is found about halfway down and it's called mode on an Epson. And what you need to do is just click in this little drop down and then set off to no color adjustment in there and set all the other settings as you normally would. Now, those are really the settings you need to set. And then it's a simple process of just clicking save, making sure your picture is sized correctly on the page and you've got a nice kind of, it's going to appear how you want it to, size-wise and border-wise on there. And very simply then, we just make sure our color management settings are correct, and then we can just click print. And it's as simple as that. And those are the three things you really need to be concerned about, the three important things. Sometimes you may see other settings you need to worry about, things like that, but honestly, don't worry about them too much. All you need to be worried about is your paper size, what media type you've told the printer to be printing on, be it matte, gloss, luster, etc. And also that profile. And if you've got the right profile, so the colours come out consistently and also accurately for you as well. Now, I hope that's been useful and told you about those three things we really need to be concerned about, because here at Fotospeed, we really want to help you with your printing and make the process as simple as possible so you get amazing prints coming out your printer. If you've got any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to contact us. Also, we're here every week on the Fotospeed YouTube channel, so please subscribe. Just click that subscribe button below, and also sign up to the Fotospeed newsletter to keep up to all the news from us here at Fotospeed. And like I said, I'll be continuing this series, the 101 of printing. The idea of the series is it will give you the knowledge and the basics you need, and really the only things you need to get lovely, beautiful prints out of your printer in the easiest way. Okay, so until next time, bye-bye.